Chief economist for the Heritage Foundation, Stephen Moore, spoke at an event hosted by Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce recently to discuss the economy and what could be done to improve it. Moore argued that the left's policies have held back the nation's economic recovery.
We have a growth deficit in this country, a severe growth deficit. And that is to say, to put it very simply, if the economy had grown as rapidly under Barack Obama as it did under Ronald Reagan, we would have $2 trillion more GDP today. That's a gigantic number. That's a gigantic number. To put it, if you had $2 trillion more GDP and we spread that to every family equally in America, that means every family in America would have $15,000 more income today.
Moore then compared the policies put forth by President Obama and President Reagan, both of whom faced economic downturns when they took office.
What did Reagan do? Well, he came in and he cut tax rates. The highest rate came down from 70 to 50 to 28%. What did he do next? Well, he and Paul Volcker got inflation under control. You saw the charts that Marty showed you about the massive increase in monetary creation and dollars flowing into the economy. In the 80s, we did the opposite. We slammed the brakes on the money supply to get inflation under control. We deregulated key parts of the economy. We got government spending under control. And most importantly, we sort of let private businessmen and women, like the people in this room, rebuild our economy by getting government off of their back. Barack Obama comes in, exactly the opposite, totally opposite strategy. What did we have? And by the way, not just Obama, Bush. Let's be bipartisan about this. The last 2 years of the Bush administration were a catastrophe. What did we do? Massive bailouts of our insurance companies and our Wall Street investment banks and our real estate banks and so on. Massive bailouts. So we took money from the winners and gave them to the losers. Then we had the $830 billion stimulus bill, which I would make the argument to you never created a single job. Then we had remember the Cash for Clunkers program, and then we had the Obamacare bill, and then we had the massive tax increases, not tax cuts, tax increases on the rich and so on. And so, in fact, I would make the case, if you look at the old Keynesian playbook, maybe there's some economics professors here from UW-Madison who believe in this stuff, I always call Keynesian economics tooth fairy economics, right? This idea that there's all this free money out there, and if we just have the government spend it, everything's going to be better. And a lot of people still believe that to this day. And then you ask the question, which of these two policies worked better? Same situation, which one worked better?
He also focused on energy policy in the United States. Moore pointed out that increased production of natural gas in the country has driven down energy costs and is actually making the U.S. more globally competitive in the manufacturing sector.
As America becomes more of an energy producer, this has enormous implications, positive implications, for the businesses that so many of you are in. We just saw this fabulous presentation about what's going on with respect to one manufacturing firm here in Wisconsin. I would make the case to you that one of the reasons we're seeing a renaissance in all Midwestern states, Wisconsin, Michigan is making a big comeback, Ohio, Pennsylvania, these states are all doing very well, not just because of the fact that they have oil and gas, but because guess what country in the world today has the lowest energy prices when you talk about electricity production? The United States does. We do. Our natural gas prices have fallen from $12 to $3 in 6 years. That's a gigantic reduction in energy costs. And meanwhile, the rest of the world, which is way behind us in terms of this technology, they still haven't figured out fracking. They still haven't figured out horizontal drilling and so on. Their natural gas prices aren't $3. They're $10, $12. They're $10 in Europe. They're $12 in Asia. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this gives America an enormous competitive advantage in producing things. We are now one of the lowest cost producers because our electricity costs are so low.
For the MacIver Institute, I'm Nick Novak.